Yo, what the deal is? It's the T Money podcast joint. My name is T Money, Mac Daddy, King Ruler, none cooler, and I am in the building right now with my girl Stax Cadero.
It's Cadero.
What's the deal, girl? What's happening with you?
What's going on, T Money?
Harlem's on, by the way.
All right, Harlem, stand up on your couch.
Let's stand up right now for Harlem in the building.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talk to us a little. First, I want to run something past everybody here. Stax is a phenomenal talent. She's a great great rapper and an actress, and I should say actor because that's the best term to use.
I mean, either way,
right? But you know, she got a little something with her, man, and she got a song out called "It's Cadero." You need to check that out and go pick that up right now.
Yeah, you can head over to Bandcamp and do that. You can just search "It's Cadero." It's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm going to be releasing another song. So by the time this is out, you can actually purchase La La Land.
Yeah.
La La Land is a true story. But it's beautiful.
Really?
It's about how you fall in love and then the things that happen along the journey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you be on cloud 9, but do you stay on cloud 9? You got to get the song in order to find out.
So if I drink enough of this Brooklyn Blue right here, will I be in La La Land?
You might be.
I think that's the thing right there.
I think that you kind of on your way to La La Land.
Talk to us a little about this Brooklyn Blue because it's putting me there right now.
You want to go to La La Land? Hold on one second.
Watch me sip this right quick.
All right, listen here. Now, Brooklyn Blue, right? This drink right here is a pre-mixed cocktail made with Puerto Rican rum and coconut rum cream and fresh pineapple. But the thing is this, right? You must be 21 and years of age and older in order to consume this. Now, if you want to buy, and I suggest you buy in bulk, all right, head on over to Instagram and hit people them up at brooklynbluecafe.creative. Okay, let me slow it down. BKLYN bluecafe.creative. Yes, I'm gonna say it slow for the people because if they miss it, they're gonna be mad.
Okay.
So all you must remember is Brooklyn Blue. You heard it here first by the T Money podcast joint.
What is it called again?
Brooklyn Blue.
Okay, Brooklyn Blue.
It's a hard K. Brooklyn Blue.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Thank you very much for that scenario.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very, very special guest. My man's in the building, man. I can't even tell you of his accomplishments have been grand, and I really, really think that you guys are going to enjoy this one. My man Markuaan Smith.
Yes.
Markuaan Smith. What's up, Markuaan? What's happening, brother?
Oh, man.
What's happening with you?
I made the T-Money podcast. And I'm listening to Stack. All I kept thinking was Miss Cleo.
Miss Cleo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Phenomenal, man. Thank you for having me, brother.
Thank you for being here, brother.
Yes, thank you for being here for sure.
We're here to celebrate you today, man, because you are inspirational, man. You are inspiring everybody let me tell you something, right? I want everybody to hear this. I went to school for film and television.
So you in your field,
right? So
you've always been in your field,
right? So I was a very good athlete in college, but I got hurt. So then I just harken back to what I really wanted to do when I went to school. And I wound up being on television for 8 years, right? And I've always been in the film. In my classes in school, I did great, right? So anytime I run into somebody like this gentleman, right?
This esteemed.
Oh yeah, let's put that before his name. This esteemed gentleman, right? I'm always intrigued as to some of the things he's probably been through, how hard it was, because it's not easy for us to make it to that level. Do you understand? You see, I did the pointing to the
of
hand.
Course.
Okay, so you understand where we're going. With this.
Perfectly.
So, in speaking to you in regards to your journey, I like to start from the very beginning. So you work on a show called Godfather of Harlem, but you're not necessarily from Harlem, or were you born in Harlem? Then you moved to Brooklyn. And now you're living for Rockaway. Tell me about your maturation. Where do we go?
I'm from Harlem. I'm from 128th in St. Nicholas.
Oh, great.
My grandfather was born in Harlem Hospital.
Oh, okay.
My grandmoms, back in the days, everybody migrated from the South.
Right, of course.
And came to New York. So Harlem was the initial beginning of my life, right? My lifespan. So growing up in the 80s, there was a a notorious kidnapping that happened with a guy by the name of Rich Porter, and he had a younger brother by the name of Darnell Porter.
Right.
So I knew Darnell growing up, and my grandmother was so scared. Like, she was like, "Oh my God, I got to get you up out of here because there's so much stuff happening." And I went to Far Rockaway. Moved out there with my mom's. But Far Rockaway was no different. See, Far Rockaway is a little inlet, right?
Yeah.
One way in, one way out. But it's surrounded by housing projects. It's the last stop on the A, and if you fall asleep and you don't wake up, you might wake up naked on Mount Avenue.
Right. Trust me, I took that trip.
Or you might have to take that train back to the Bronx, back to the A train, on the A train back to Mount Avenue. So when you have a bunch of housing projects on this little inlet, everything from Hamels to Edgemere to Auburn to Nordak to the 40s to Redfern to little places like Gateway, Cornega, New Haven, you have a bunch of people, African Americans, on top of each other, right? And we all sharing one McDonald's.
Oh.
You know,
wow.
like there was a McDonald's on Mount Avenue, so I might have a problem with some guys in Redfern, and all I want to do is get a Big Mac and some French fries,
But
and I
you
might
gotta-
see somebody I got a problem with. So
You got more than French fries.
yeah, right. So Far Rockaway was just a very interesting. It was potholes, a lot of turmoils, a lot of trials and tribulations. You know,
What high school did you go to?
I went to Far Rock High School when I came home from vacation. So
Oh, okay.
so
Salute to that.
so I was on vacation, meaning the fact I was in a lot of juvenile facilities. I was in a place called Spofford.
Yeah, we know about
Okay.
That was
Spofford,
in
yeah.
They
the
shipped you
Bronx,
to
in
the
Spofford
Bronx?
Avenue, and then I was in the DFY system, Division of Youth. So from the DFY system, I went to a place called Lincoln Hall. So I was in Lincoln Hall for.
Where was that?
Lincoln Hall is upstate New York.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know, it made me a man. You know, to come back and want to go to school. I remember my counselor at Lincoln Hall said, "If you read this book called Man, Child, and the Promised Land by Claude Brown, you can get a furlough." And I read that book, and I started to be more interested in reading. And Claude Brown, for your listeners, he's a great author. He's a person that grew up in Harlem in the '60s, was addicted to dope, beat it, and became a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, I believe.
Wow.
And that was something that was inspiring to me, just reading that book.
Wow, that's amazing. So, with that said, growing up, what inspired you to be in entertainment?
Well, to be honest,
Because I
with
know
you-
there's always some sort of moment. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's a good question. Because to be honest with you, what inspired me was going outside, like gunshots and hearing things going on. I used to lock myself in a room and watch movies. So that was like my escape, my make believe. You know, it was therapeutic to me. I would watch movies like Rebel Without a Cause on the waterfront, or Maltese Falcon.
How old were you?
I
How
was
old were
about
you?
15 years old,
And
16
most
years
15
old.
years, most kids who are 15 years old don't watch those type of movies.
Well, I was different. I wasn't watching Beat Street and Breaking
Exactly.
and things
Right.
of that sort. I wanted to watch, I wanted to know what it was,
The old black and
To
whites.
be,
and stuff.
what directors directed, everything from Martin Scorsese to Coppola to one of my favorite movies is Once Upon a Time in America. I thought I was Noodles.
Right.
So
Oh,
I was,
okay.
So I was watching Sergio Leone, you know.
Right.
Right.
So those are the things that inspired me, right? Just to escape what was outside when I opened up that door. And as we move on, I have an older brother, unless you want to lead into it, but my older brother is an artist by the name of Father MC. So
Yeah, we'll get into
Okay,
that.
I got you.
Yeah, we'll get into that with your brother.
right.
But yeah, I'm just really curious because that's see when I do these interviews, I always find things like that fascinating.
Yeah.
Because that makes you unique to yourself. Like you're unique because you're wanting to watch movies at 15 because you're interested in watching those type of movies because you're already like looking to it from a different lens.
It was an escape.
You know?
It was an escape
Right.
mechanism. Like,
Right.
I mean, one thing about movies is universal. There's no color boundaries. There's no
Unless it's written in the script.
written in the script, but
Right.
your mind can fantasize and you could be anything
Right.
you want to be.
Right.
If you asked me when I was younger what I wanted to be James Bond. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
no question. We
but
all wanted to be
still-
James Bond, bro.
But I mean, because he's smooth, right? But
Yep.
Not only smooth,
But-
but he was able to travel the world. He was able to drive the most exotic cars.
And had the beautiful
Had
women.
the most beautiful women.
okay, but now is this not you? All right. So
Okay.
so it's very
They
telling.
call me Smith.
All right.
Markuaan Smith.
No question.
that.
No doubt.
Say
No
that.
doubt. No doubt.
But
No doubt.
I like that. That was very smooth. You see, I said he's smooth.
Yeah, right.
So, but I'm thinking about the kind of movies that you were watching, and also the fact that you were enamored with the director,
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese. To me, that's very telling of who you were going to become.
Yeah.
It's very telling of who you were going to become. You didn't know,
Yeah.
but you're watching and you're just like, and you don't know, but it's happening. Like your path is already being laid out before you.
Yeah.
That's so dope.
you-
I'm so
did you-
happy that you took that moment to read that book and get into reading and then find your escape and finding out who you were. And it may have taken you some time, but damn, look at you now.
Did you always see yourself
Killing it.
as an actor or
I
someone producing? Or
I looked at myself as a creator.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know, creators, we're special. Like, especially with me, I'm like, I'd rather be dead than not being able to create.
Right.
Creating, you know, you're making people laugh. You're making people
Mm-hmm.
cry, smile. It's an emotional arc.
Right.
So to see something that you've created and people are appreciating it, what you created may change someone's day.
Yeah.
Right? You know, regardless if you're an architect or a scientist
Or a painter
or a painter, exactly. It's the
or a music producer.
it's the
creating
method
something.
of just creating. That's what I've always wanted to be. I didn't want to have a 9 to 5 where I felt like I was in a hamster wheel or waking up Sunday morning dreading to go to work on Monday, because now you got to wake up and do that 9 to 5. You go to work at 9, 11 o'clock, you get a smoke break, 12:30, you take lunch, you go home at 5 o'clock and you do it all over again. I was
Yeah.
never
That schedule
in
is
that
crazy.
type of
But you
mind
realize,
space.
most people want to be that. They want to be on the creative side. They want to let their left brain take over their right side, right? They want to do that, but you know, it takes the availability first of all, and it takes a lot of courage to do that, because you're on an island and you have to really believe in your abilities at some point to actually do that, because you have to live as an adult.
So you know what, to go to what you were saying, T Money,
Right.
is that
Sorry, my phone went off, ladies and gentlemen. That was my ringtone. Just so you know.
T Money and Stacks. I never had a plan B. I always believed if you had a plan B, you were planning for your plan A to fail. So I've always stuck to my plan A. I didn't. If you asked me what else I would have been, I would have been like, I don't want to be anything else. There's a lot of
Right.
people that have plan Bs, like saying if this works, if this doesn't work, this may work. That was never me. I always stuck to my plan A. You know, people looked at my plan A like it was crazy. Why don't you do this? Even my mother, you know, she was like, you know, always, she was supportive, but she was like, well, you know, if this doesn't happen, this may not happen, but we all have a limited time in life. Ferris Bueller said that he had a quote. I might have it wrong, but he said life is like a roller coaster and it's moving real fast. So I've always wanted to pursue what I wanted to do. You could chase your pension or your passion. I always wanted to chase my passion and not my pension.
That's an
Yeah.
incredible line.
Yeah.
You can either chase your pension or your passion.
I'd rather chase the passion all day.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. So, with that being said, your influences. What influenced you to actually be who you've become today? Like who?
Oh, it was a lot of people that influenced me. I mean, from the greats like Harry Belafonte to Sidney Poitier, to people that were right next to me like Father MC, you know, Timothy Brown. I mean, watching people grow you know, people like Arthur Ashe, Alvin Ailey, it doesn't have to just be an actor. It could be a football player like Jim Brown.
Yeah.
I followed people's careers and saw what they've overcome, and it's not easy, but it's a great story for your book. Your book called Life. You gotta have some dope chapters.
Yeah, you do.
It doesn't matter what it is. So many people want success, but are you willing to eat ramen noodles? Are you willing to eat tuna fish sandwiches? Are you willing to sleep on somebody's floor? Are you willing to say your T-Money, you got to hook up with buddy passes? Because I got to get to Netflix Monday morning, and I can't afford a market flight.
Right.
So if you're not willing to deal with that, you're not willing to deal with success. You're not willing to deal with chasing your dream.
Those are dues. Those dues have to be paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody gives it to you.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But so with that being said about Father MC, salute to Father MC, by the way.
Salute.
And talk to me more about your other influences.
Well, Father, like that's my big bro.
How did his success
He
change your life?
Well, I'll tell you this. My brother influenced me because he used to work at KFC. And he used to be battling every rapper that came through there. And he would open the back door of KFC with flour on his uniform.
Hold on.
Eating people
Okay,
up.
I'm visualizing this right now.
Eating people up. Seriously.
Hey.
True story.
Right.
I believe it.
He won a contest at USA roller skating, right?
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
And we used to literally take the train to go to the music seminar, hop in the train. But after he took off that KFC outfit on, he had his silk shirt on, his ballies on. We would share a 40-ounce, a rice cup with the red sauce, and talk about our dreams. And I seen it happen. I was literally locked up at the time when he got his record deal. I came home and saw him on Video Music Box, treat them like they want to be treated, laying down, talking to a therapist. I was like, oh, shit.
That's dope.
He did it.
But he gave me the influence of, he's the epitome of chasing your dreams and getting to it by any means necessary. And I knew when he achieved his dream, he would help me. And he brought me on the road. I mean, being on the road was like the most dopest thing ever. Like to meet people like a T-Money or Bismarck or, one of my good friends was Tupac Shakur. Wow. And what I did on the road, that might be the next question. What I did on the road, I started off as a roadie. And for your audience, a roadie
carrying the records.
I was carrying big ass
Roadie
coffins.
Roadie carry anything.
I was carrying coffins like this big. This is before DAT tapes.
Okay.
So I was the first one off the bus, the last one on. Everybody in the hotel getting boxed. I'm in. I gotta make sure everybody is on. I'm gonna get fined.
Yeah.
But that's how I met Tupac, because Tupac was a roadie for Digital Underground.
Okay.
And Tretch was a roadie for Latifah. So we had this camaraderie. So being on that tour bus, going from city to city, and escaping your surroundings is the most beautiful thing ever.
You get to open your mind. You get to see things. I mean, when you go on a tour, for 30 cities, I mean, I've done it a few times. It's especially when you're young, it takes you out of your environment, and it's like, oh, you're here, or oh, this can happen. You can make money doing this. You can literally make money. I think I spoke about this on a earlier episode on how, hip hop in its early stages. Your parents will always tell you, you need to go get a job. Yeah. You need to get a college degree. You need to do something.
You need to have experience, though. You need to have life experience, to me, before you go to college. Because a lot of times we go to college and we go because we have to go. But when we go, we're not really ready to take on a psychology or to take on business or.
To piggyback on that, it wasn't always entertainment. I mean, I played basketball. Okay. That was a way out the hood. If you go to the ABCD camp or you play for the Gauchos or Riverside and you get to travel, that was a way out.
Absolutely.
For women, you run track. Penn relays, the Colgate games, that was a way out.
Yeah.
Anything out of that neighborhood, that 20-block radius, was amazing to me. Some people went to the fresh air camp and came back changed. Like,
Yeah.
I know what pine trees look like. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, so it was just setting up a way out. And my way out was either playing basketball or going on tour. And going on tour, I was able to go to Africa. I was able to go to Seattle, Washington, Hawaii, Chicago, Oklahoma, Nebraska. You know, it was just amazing to me.
Places that you kind of you checked off your list that you may not have otherwise been like, oh yeah, I want to go to Nebraska.
You know, to be honest with you, I wasn't even checking it off my
different.
list. I was just like, I'm out of here, you know.
Yeah.
And I was making more money being a roadie than some dudes was making selling crack on the block.
And you were experiencing things you've never seen before.
Absolutely.
It opens your mind. I know
opens
people,
your mind.
listen to me, I know people that I grew up with or people that I know in my life that just never even left their borough. Like they party in their borough, they work in their borough, they live their whole life in their borough or their area. You know, they don't go anywhere. They never had their mind actually open. And it's important when you're young to actually do those things and have those experiences because it gives you an idea of what you can do with your life, you know? And that's amazing, you know what I mean? So I'm glad you were able to experience those things, you know?
Eye-opening.
But so at some point you transitioned to going behind the camera, right?
Well, actually, you know, after my brother fired me.
What? Oh,
How you
what?
get fired? What you do? What was you doing?
No, so it wasn't actually. It was basically like this. He was on his third album, and he didn't know where he was going to transition to.
So he had to let you go. He didn't just fire you. He just had to let
No, but he did fire me though. You know, at the end of the day, he didn't have to let me go, but he did fire me. And if he watching it, yeah, nigga, you fired me. Anyway, he knows that. But anyway, you know, he let me go, and but it was more of like a mother pushing
Go be
the
you.
bird out the nest.
Yeah.
Fly.
Yeah.
Because I made a lot of relationships, and this is a true statement. Your net worth is your network, right? So I made friends with all the opening acts, whether it's Boys to Men, who became this multi-platinum phenomenal group, you know, or like Lighter Shade of Brown, you know, or some, you know, or you know, these are the individuals I made contacts with, and my brother was like, "It's time for you to get on your own," because he didn't know where he was going to transition to after his after he was out of his deal.
Wow. So that's not cool, father. You fire your brother. What's wrong with you, man? You always put to hold him down, son. Yeah. So today, as it relates to ownership of material, how important did you find that to be extremely important for people like yourself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because after I got fired, I was actually signed to Whitney Houston's label. She had a label called A Better Place Records on Electra with Merlin Bob and Sylvia.
Oh, Merlin Bob, yes.
Yeah. And I was one of their acts up there. And that's when I learned about ownership.
Yeah.
About ownership of copywriting, residuals, or things of that sort. I got educated real fast about that.
Yeah.
Robin Crawford was the president of A Better Place Records. And being in the music industry, you know the importance of split sheets.
Right.
You know the importance of of doing a publishing deal. Do you do a publishing deal because you broke? A lot of people have sold their souls for little or nothing, right? Because it's a business not for the faint of heart. Doesn't matter who you are at the end of the night, at the end of the day, it's about the ROI, what's your return on investment.
Return on investment, right. Wow.
So when you were an artist, were you rapping?
Yeah, I was
You
rapping.
had bars? All right.
I was
So-
rapping,
so-
but I
so
was
was
rapping like my
Markuaan-
brother. I was rapping just like my brother, trying to,
Okay.
emulate him, be the smooth dude. They call me Silk.
Silk, okay.
Yeah, that's my name. If you really knew me, everybody like, that's Silk. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I was trying to be like him, At that time, there was Redhead Kingpin, there was the Red Bandit, it was RZA with Rakim. That was his
Right.
name.
Oh, yes.
we
Oh, I
love
love
you,
you, Rakim.
Rakim.
Right.
Then you
Before
had-
Wu-Tang.
And
Before
then you
Wu-Tang.
had Jizza Girl, Come Do Me.
Right.
Everybody
Yeah.
had these smooth, like,
Yeah.
So I was trying
So
to
you were
emulate
part of
that.
that. You was
I
part
was
of
trying to emulate that,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah,
So
so
after-
that was like late 80s, early 90s. Like with
Yeah,
the-
that's
That was,
what's
like, that was
happening.
like
that
92,
whole
93.
smooth,
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
So
Ill and Out, Scratch, you know, I'll take
I'll
her.
take her,
you
yeah.
know, so yeah.
That's what's up. So after
That's
you
dope.
realized that just your rapping career was not going to work, what did you do moving forward?
Oh man, I went back to the street. To be honest with you, I started doing things I had no business doing. Like
You wanted to go on vacation again, I guess.
I didn't go on vacation, but I was really close to a lot of vacations. You know, I was hustling. I was always a hustler. I always liked nice things. I like nice clothes, and I just
Right.
felt that, you know, this is what I had to do to
Quickest
achieve it and get it. And to be honest with you, I think it was the last time I got in trouble. I was in the federal court system in the Southern District where Puffy was indicted at, and they call that Castle Grayskull. And I said to God, I said, if you give me another opportunity, I will change my life. And they ended up giving me 3 years federal probation, and I started working at BET.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Let
started
me ask
working
you-
at BET. I was at
Good.
BET for like 16 years.
Oh, really?
That's beautiful.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. I wanted to ask you this. As it relates to that, I mean, just give me your personal opinion in regards to that. 'Cause you had made mention to the fact that you went back to the street to do, you know, we're not going to get into exactly what it was, but the challenge for young men, and sometimes they're women too, they get involved in the street, is because they don't have anything, right?
Well, I'll give you.
And well, let me finish.
Okay.
And they don't have anything, and then they're able to get money. They get money fast. You know, how does it work? Where now I have my opinion in regards to it, but I just wanted to get your perspective. You know, because you get involved in that, and that money gets good to you. You know, you think that it's money that's, you know, that is there for you for the long haul, right? And you never develop a sense of, I don't know, working or being involved in anything that's going to be productive as it relates to you going to school or anything. You never, and you stay there, you know? What makes someone, I don't know, maybe like yourself or anybody else actually transition to something more positive?
Well, I'll give you the example. R.I.P. to Sasha Jenkins. Sasha was one of the head individuals over at The Source, and I was going to do a documentary on Steady Being Cool C.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah, well.
So if you look at Steady Being Cool C, you know, this probably would answer some of what you just asked me. They were making so much money as rappers at the time, or they were, but then it came a time of desperation where they ended up robbing a bank and killing a black police, a woman officer there, right?
Right.
So when people have times of desperation, right, people do desperate things. And at the time with me, I'm used to living a certain lifestyle now, and I didn't know what else to do. I wasn't gonna go work at McDonald's.
Right.
I did that when I was 14, 15.
Or KFC for that, man.
KFC, Taco Bell. I did everything. I know how to make a taco, fried chicken, and make a Big Mac. You know
Come
what I'm
on
saying?
now.
Okay.
So I've been through that summer youth job. So you know, desperation comes when people do desperate things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that comes like even with the music business, people sell their publishing for desperation. My mortgage needs to be paid, but your publishing catalog is worth this. I need money right now.
Right.
So that's the answer. That's how I feel.
Oh, okay. So that's understandable because people have to do what they have to do. You know what I mean? So you eventually get behind the camera, right? And then, you know, that transition was magnanimous for you. It was great for you. And then you eventually wound up landing the Godfather of Harlem series, right?
Yeah, but there's
steps to that.
There was steps to that,
Right,
and
right.
I'll tell you this.
So talk to us a little about that, right?
So working at BET, I worked at 106 in Park when it was originally 106 in Park.
Who'd you work under when you were there?
Tumabasa and Kelly G.
And Kelly, okay.
Okay, I worked in the music department. Shout out to Penny Mac and
salute to my girl Penny Mac. You know you're on TV raps. You're on TV raps all day.
Penny Mac is an amazing person. But I worked at BET and I really wasn't happy at the time. But I had to have a job because remember I just told you I was on federal probation.
Right.
So everybody looked at me and was like, "Damn, this guy is here. He wears fur coats. He drives convertibles. What the fuck?" You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to downplay who I am to be here.
Right.
And I was working with some uppity Negroes at BET. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm like I came in there thinking I was going to change the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And lo and behold, they sat my ass down in a cubicle in the corner because I've always been some sort of talent and I wanted to actually host Rap City, but Tigger had got that spot.
Oh, really?
So I started working with Kelly G and Tumabasa, but I was in a cubicle and as a creator, I felt like it was just boxed in and compressing, and I was just like. 1 year became 2 years, then 3 years became 4 years, 4 years became 5 years, and 6 years. And I was like, "This
crazy.
This is getting to a time in my life where I used to have to sneak out to go to auditions. My supervisors would be like, "Where's your black ass at? You supposed to be back at 1:45." And I'm like, "This nigga don't know I'm gonna fuck him up like at 3 o'clock. You don't even know who you talking to right now. You know what I'm saying?
Watch your mouth, son.
Like seriously, like
yeah."
I had to stick my head out to tell my probation officer that I was at work, and just people couldn't understand like how is this guy like he just comes to work like he's flop because that was the life that I kept. So
it's who you've always been.
I've always been that.
Right.
So when Viacom finally took over BET, like for real, when it was no more BET Finance. Or BET HR became Viacom HR and Viacom Finance, they started letting people go. And it got so bad, they were letting people go, sending grief counselors down to D.C. to have consultation with people that worked at BET for 22 years, but they got to pay mortgage payments, right? They got to put their kids through college. You just don't know if somebody's going to end themselves behind that.
Right.
So, long story short, my superior called me in the office and said, "Hey, you got a team meeting on Friday. Make sure you show up." I was like, "All right, I'm 16 years in." Friday comes, I go in the room, and it's HR, my bitch ass boss. I'm gonna say that. I hope you watch this shit too.
Remember, he said that his bitch ass boss.
My bitch ass boss, and his boss. Who was a colonizer. So you had the colonizer.
Wow.
The bitch ass Uncle Rufus boss.
Wow.
And HR. I'm going to tell it as it is. So
I
I go in there, I walk in, they say, "Hey." The colonizer says to me, "Hey, Markuaan, you've worked here for 16 years. And we love what you've done. But unfortunately, Uncle Rufus said, he telling you he got to go."
Oh.
So I was like, wow, smacked me in the face. They gave me $4,000 in severance for 16 years of being at BET.
What?
So I had to figure out life real fast.
Wow.
I live in the city. My rent is $4,500 a month. I got a nice car. I had to figure out life fast. Life was closing in on me like this because I got comfortable.
Yeah.
So being comfortable is scary.
Yeah.
Because when you're comfortable, you feel like nothing's going to happen. So then my other journey begins.
Which is producing
Godfather.
Now,
let me tell you something. That in itself that should be put together in some sort of, I don't know, some sort of package where people can you can go buy that. Okay, don't get comfortable. Because at any moment in time, don't get comfortable.
Well,
follow your dreams. Don't get comfortable.
I tell people
that energy should always be out there.
I tell people all the time, there's no bunk beds in the graveyard. You know what that means?
Break it down.
If the Grim Reaper calls you tonight and says, it's time for you to go. You can't call me and say, hey, Markuaan, it's time for us to go.
Yeah,
nah, nigga,
nah.
you say it's time for you to go. So there's no bunk beds in the graveyard.
Right, no bunk
This is
beds.
something you have to deal with on your own.
Right.
Right. So talk to me about the whole journey to Godfather of Harlem. How did that happen?
Well,
how did you make the connection?
Well,
what was it like working with Forrest? Because Forrest seems to be an amazing talent.
Well, it started off like this on Lenox Terrace, right? If you're familiar with Lenox Terrace, it's one of the most affluent places to live at in Harlem at the time.
Of course.
Everybody from Percy Sutton lived there to James Baldwin, Charles Rangel. The it people lived there.
Yeah, and they still.
I just drove
Still
past
does.
there the other day. Actually.
Still does.
I just drove past
So my godmother, her name is Margaret Johnson, and every Sunday, she used to have what we call story time. She'd be like, baby, just bring me some beef tongue on rye bread with mustard, and I would go upstairs. She lived by herself, and she would sit down and tell me these magical stories about Harlem. She used to tell me how she used to walk out of a tenement building and smell fresh laundry hanging out a window, or walk past the Apollo and see James Brown's name on the marquee, or walk past Sugar Ray Robinson's barbershop. Look inside, you may see Nat King Cole getting a haircut, or hear Sam Cooke's voice coming out of a transistor radio. But she also told me about how African Americans migrated from the South, trying to escape Bull Connor's water hoses and his dogs. It didn't matter if you went to Newark, D.C., Philly, or even Harlem. Racism was still prevalent.
Yeah.
It was one of the most tumultuous times for African Americans in the 60s. She would tell me stories about to do something simple as purchase a hat. The store owner may say you need to put a plastic bag on your head so the hat just doesn't touch your scalp because you're black. Or a father of 5 worked all week, wants to take his family out for a steak dinner. Goes to the restaurant. The owner says, you can't patronize with the rest of the patrons, but you got to take food to go. You can take a meal to go. Then she mentioned about her grandfather. His name was Ellsworth Raymond Johnson. The streets know him as Bumpy Johnson.
Bumpy.
So he's from Charleston, Carolina. He's a Geechee Gullah. Geechee Gullahs, to explain, are literally what they say slaves with no masters. Basically, they lived close to the water, and the Europeans couldn't stand the mosquitoes and everything. There's a lot of rice and paddy fields over there, so they left them down there to govern themselves. That's why they have their own type of language and everything. So Bumpy Johnson didn't come up to Harlem to become a gangster. He actually came up here to become an attorney like Malcolm X. So when he went to City College, and the bursar realized that Ellsworth Raymond Johnson was attached to a black man, he says, we don't give financial aid to people of color. So he took the cards that it was dealt to him, and he played it the best way he could.
No question.
He was the first African-American underboss that sat down with the 5 families. When I say the 5 families, I mean Lucky Luciano, Frank Costello, Vito Genovese, the Jewish gangsters, Meyer Lansky, Bugsy Siegel. They didn't look at him as a nigga. They looked at him as he's a black man. He read Shakespeare, he read Nietzsche, and we could use him.
He wrote poetry, right?
Yeah, and he wrote poetry.
Yeah.
That we could use him to bring in dope into Central Harlem. There's even rumors that he beat Bobby Fischer in chess. So I made her a promise over 21 years ago that I would get the true story of who her grandfather was, not the Cotton Club, not the hoodlum hanging on the side of a Oldsmobile with a Tommy gun. Not American Gangster, because he didn't die in front of a bunch of TVs with Frank Lucas behind him talking about Pepsi's the best product.
Right.
He actually died in my character's arms. I play a character by the name of Junie Bird. So I made her a promise that I would get the real story and show who her grandfather was.
Wow.
That is absolutely amazing. I didn't.
That is absolutely amazing.
So,
I just pictured everything as you
So that was part of your
you
research
shared.
for what you were
Yeah, I
doing.
went to the Schomburg Museum. I did all the research, and I interviewed all the OGs. Most of them lied because Bumpy was born in 1905, October 31st. He was born on Halloween. Ain't no way that you knew him. But everybody wanted to play a part. Everybody was like, yeah, I used to run numbers for Bumpy, and I was a shooter for him. And I was there when he kissed Lucky Luciano, and I was like, but
Right.
it was interesting time because they said when Bumpy died, Harlem died.
Yeah.
And
So what was the relationship between him and Frank?
there was no relationship between him and Frank
That's
Lucas.
always marred. There's so many stories in regards to that.
That's creative liberty. I'm telling you from Margaret Johnson's mouth
Right.
that Frank Lucas at the time, he was a loudmouth guy from, I believe he was from North Carolina.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that he was from North Carolina. And
it's depicted in the show that he's from North Carolina.
I'll tell you this. Tribalism, the word tribalism is real. In Harlem, when people migrated from the South, they had a bar. Say, I'm just making up numbers. 115th Street, everybody from South Carolina hung in that bar.
Oh, okay.
110th, everybody from North Carolina hung in that bar. 112th, everybody from Alabama hung in that bar. Everybody from Florida hung in that bar. And you can see the different, just like you could tell a Brooklyn dude, or you could tell a Queens guy or a Harlem guy.
Dude.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cats from South Carolina, they dressed very discreet. Black, dark suits, tie, white, a black
Nothing.
tie, white shirt.
No flash.
Kept the razor in them.
Right. No flash.
But people from Alabama or North Carolina maybe more flashy, more loudmouth. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you kind of like depicted where everybody else was from.
Wow, that's interesting. That still plays a part today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
even in Africa with the Igbo tribes, tribalism is a real thing.
Right. So how do you? So let me ask you a question. How important you're behind the camera now, and there's stories. There's so many stories out here that need to be told. How important is it to tell the black experience, the black stories through a black creative lens?
I think it's very important being multi-hyphenate. I consider myself like a male version of Issa Rae, being in front of the camera and being behind the camera. Right. I think history always repeats itself, and it's great to show the juxtaposition of what's happening now with what's happening then. I like to make history cool. I like to tell the stories that resonate because history repeats itself.
No question.
In so many forms,
does.
right? But and this is real interesting what you asked me. I'm also a creator for everybody. I'm not a creator for one race because I asked a question to a friend of mine. I said, "Hey, if Godfather Harlem had a 49% African American viewership, and say Power had 80% African American viewership, what would you rather have? What would you rather have?" I'm asking that question to you.
I think people will go with Power because that's what everybody is talking about.
What would you rather
What
have?
I would rather have?
Yeah.
I would rather have Godfather or Harlem. I like the
What would
story.
you rather have? I'm talking about the percentage, Ross.
Well, that's why you have one Power because it's more.
See, that's where
Because
that's where the disconnect is.
Right.
I would rather Godfather Harlem because everybody is watching it. It's not just one race.
Right.
When I hustled, I didn't just sell to black people. I sold to white people, green people. You was bow-legged, slew-footed. It didn't matter.
Right.
Right.
Slew-footed.
So
let's find the slew-footed ones.
so that's where you're able to get a Golden Globe. Or an Oscar or a Tony, when you broaden your mindset. If you just stay in one corner,
everybody's eyes is on you.
Exactly. When we used to do what was called the upfronts at BET, the only advertisers that would come in and advertise for us is like Johnson & Johnson products. But we as black people, we like Mercedes-Benz.
Right.
But why is not Mercedes-Benz coming over here?
Right.
They only be Honda Accords and Toyota Camrys and Johnson & Johnson products. So my thing is, as a person, as an individual, I want to create for everybody.
Right.
Why can't I like soft rock? I like the Bee Gees. I like Christopher Cross. You know what I'm saying? I like Bobby Caldwell.
Gee,
I don't think
that's my band right there.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Music and art shouldn't be just only for black people.
So if you had the opportunity to produce a project for somebody, who would you pick? If you had the opportunity right now to do it for someone, who would you choose?
if I had my
with that
with that mindset,
Yeah.
I would do 16 candles over.
Wow.
Or a
Weird
breakfast
or
club
weird
and
science
have
Nice.
or weird science or something like
yeah,
that,
or the
Yeah.
Goonies or
Or the
something like
Goonies?
that. Yeah.
What about Ferris Bueller?
Or Ferris Bueller, but I
Yeah.
would make it for everybody. At that
Yeah.
time, we didn't have an opportunity
It'll
to
be
do that.
integrated, so
But
everybody
it's everybody
would be,
because we are all.
yeah.
This is music and art should have no racial. This is not politics, right? It's not religion.
It shouldn't have any racial
It
overtones
should
in
have
it.
no racial overtones at all.
Right.
Right.
So when you say our power, it's like okay, but what about the guy in Oklahoma? He don't know what power is, and that's not something because we have one of the most diverse casts.
Right.
So Godfather Harlem is not just a black show because if you look at it, we have John Carlo Esposito, we have Vincent D'Onofrio, right? We have Forrest Whitaker, we got Justin Bart. We have Louis Guzman, we have Paul Savino, passed away, R.I.P. It's diverse. The only thing urban about Godfather Harlem is the word Harlem,
Right.
where there's a Harlem in Europe, right? So
what's going on with the show at this point? Like I know it's supposed to come back out.
Right now,
I'm like literally thrusting with anticipation.
right now we're on we're going on our 5th season.
Beautiful.
We're waiting for the green light. I mean, you have to understand like this is a milestone because how many shows get
So,
past the 1st season?
They-
Like,
and
we're
and
like
some of them don't get past the 3rd.
we're like and I'm very humble to say we're like in the same lane as Sopranos. We're in the same lane as Ozark because of the multiple seasons.
Yeah.
Not many shows get 5 seasons. Being the fact my show is about $5 million per episode, so you do the math. We have 10 episodes. 5 times 10 is $50 million, not including advertising.
Wow.
So that's another TNA. That's another maybe $20 million, $30 million. And on our show, which you tell me if you ever saw on a TV show, we have 3 number ones on the call sheets. I have an Academy Award winning actor I'm on screen with every Sunday, as far as Whitaker.
That's
Right?
amazing.
Last King of Scotland. You have John Carlo Esposito. That could easily be a number 1 on the call sheet. You have Vincent D'Onofrio, the Kingpin. Gomer Pyle.
Yep. Pile.
Easy number 1 on the call sheet.
Pile.
You don't have so much talent like you have in Godfather Harlem. And it's for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just for one person.
Right.
That's amazing. You know who I like on the show? I think that's amazing. The guy that plays next to Elvis. What is his name?
Eric.
Eric. He's listen to me. If he's not like that in real life, he's the most amazing actor because he's official. You know
Eric,
what I mean? But that said, so you guys are waiting to be greenlit for the next episode. So what else are you doing besides?
Oh, well, so, with me, I keep creating, being multi-hyphenate, you got to keep creating.
Right.
You can't say you made it. I
Right.
didn't make it.
course.
I'm someone that's been blessed to leave my fingerprints in time because that's all I ever wanted to do is leave my fingerprints in time. Something that you've done.
legacy is-
Your legacy, like you guys did, salute to you. You guys did Yo MTV Raps. That's your legacy. That's a fingerprint in
question.
time. Like, no one can take that from you. I'm working on a TV series right now. Whoopi Goldberg is one of the executive producers. With Joe Morton, big shout out to Joe Morton. He was in played Papa Pope in Scandal, and Jonathan Majors, big shout out to Jonathan Majors. Dorian Missick. It's called Divine City. Divine City is about kind of like a little history of when I was in D.C. That I went to a HBCU. I went to Morgan State University.
Oh, okay.
How was your experience there?
Oh man, it was. I would tell anybody to send their children to HBCU so they can see what the black experience is. But Divine City is about D.C. from 85 to 90. It's about the haves and the have-nots, about capitalism, Reaganomics, socialism, about the introduction of hip-hop, go-go music, everything that was happening at that time, So I'm very excited about that project right now.
So is this your idea as well?
Yes, it is.
That's so dope.
That's
I have
amazing.
2 wonderful producers. One of my producers, his name is 19. He created the Allen Iverson documentary, and he directed the Allen Iverson documentary. He did Nipsey Hussle's documentary with LeBron James Company, Spring Hill, Iceman, George Gervin. He did Time Is Illmatic, Nas's documentary, and I have another partner, Chris Jenkins. He actually worked at the Washington Post for over 20 years, and he has a Pulitzer. So this is a story about I call it the greatest comeback story ever. You know, through the eyes of the most flawless mayor out there, Marion Barry.
Wow. So you go over all the stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's unbelievable.
This is brilliant.
So you're really into hip hop. So tell me, who's your favorite hip hop artist?
Oh man, my favorite hip hop artist. Like, I'm gonna keep it real with you.
And why though? Why?
I think I resonated to Tupac, because what he spoke about, I endured as a kid growing up in the streets, and our relationship that we had. And Tupac was able to make music for the ladies, but he also made music for the have-nots, right? And then I love Biggie, but a lot of the stuff that Biggie spoke about, I learned later